Welcome. I'd like to tell you about certain metals and ask the question, when are these elements hazardous? Certain metals can be excellent conductors, malleable, or corrosion resistant, but they're linked to health harm. They're one of the 6 classes or families that contain many of the chemicals of concern found in consumer products and building materials. Our class of certain metals consists of mercury, arsenic, cadmium, and lead. We are exposed from eating food contaminated with these metals, drinking tainted water, breathing cigarette smoke, and ingesting household dust. The greatest health concern from certain metals is prenatal and early life exposure, which may harm brain development. First, we will discuss mercury. Mercury is released from coal-burning plants and then pollutes air and water. Large fish like tuna and swordfish can accumulate mercury. Eating a lot of such fish can lead to dangerously high levels in people. Exposure to mercury in the womb can impair brain development, leading to learning and behavioral problems. Mercury can damage the nervous system or kidneys and may also harm heart function. So what can you do about mercury? Choose fish that are lower in mercury, such as salmon, tilapia, trout, sardines, and anchovies. Avoid skin lightening, anti-aging, and acne face creams unless you're certain they do not contain mercury. Safely dispose of glass thermometers, compact fluorescent light bulbs, and older thermostats that contain mercury. The second metal in this class is arsenic. It can increase the risk of skin, lung, and bladder cancer, cardiovascular disease, and harm the nervous system. The fetus is especially vulnerable. Rice absorbs arsenic more easily than other grains do. Potentially harmful levels of arsenic have been found in infant rice cereal. In 2016, the FDA proposed an upper limit for such cereals. However, other rice-based products remain a concern. So what can you do about arsenic? Diversify your diet. Include alternatives to rice-based foods when possible. Avoid old pressure-treated wood, which may contain arsenic. Wash hands after contact with older wooden decks or play structures. Third comes cadmium, which can be used in paints, metal coatings, plastic toys, and costume jewelry. Children can ingest cadmium from putting contaminated jewelry into their mouths. Cadmium exposure can impair brain development, damage lungs and kidneys, weaken bones, and increase cancer risk. So what can you do about cadmium? Don't let children play with metal jewelry that might contain it. Avoid breathing in cigarette smoke, which may contain cadmium. Avoid welding fumes and dust by working in well-ventilated areas and using protective equipment. The fourth metal in this class is lead. Although lead was finally removed from paint in 1978, peeling paint in older buildings continues to be the largest source of lead exposure. Children in low-wealth communities have the highest risk of lead poisoning, which leads to reduced IQ and earning potential. Lead can cause harm to brain development, miscarriages, stillbirth, and infertility, as well as high blood pressure. The good news is that eliminating lead from products has made a big impact. For example, lead was first added to gasoline in the 1920s. It took until the 1950s to establish the danger of even low-level exposure. In the 1970s, lead began to be phased out of gasoline. As gas became unleaded, human blood levels dropped dramatically. Reducing the use of certain metals contributes to a healthier population. So what can you do about lead? Keep children away from peeling paint. Use protective gear when removing lead-based paint. Use cold water for drinking or cooking to reduce the release of lead from older pipes. Confirm that your water is safe. Inexpensive lead testing kits are available. Wash hands and vacuum with a HEPA filter and wet mop to reduce exposure to contaminated dust. At 6classes.org, you can learn more about certain metals and the other 5 classes, as well as view the entire video series. Brought to you by the Green Science Policy Institute. Please do share these videos for healthier products, people, and planet.